Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this video we are going to check out Polygon's price chart. And since I feel like every now and then I should check the long-term scenario, and also since a couple of you guys asked in the comment section to talk about what is going to happen potentially in the mid to long term for Polygon, well, okay, here we are. This is weekly time frame. Now, the overall scenario from my point of view is 100% bullish. Why? Because I believe this initial move on the upside is a clear-cut 5-wave when you go on some lower time frames into a wave 1, followed by that a WXY, probably a double zigzag into wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to about the highest high around $3 into wave 3, and the current move on the downside starting from all the way up here back in December of 2021. It's just a corrective movement into our wave 4, and after it's over, or maybe it's over already, we are going to have another huge move up into wave 5, and I do believe that this right in here is going to happen in the cycle. And in this phase, I'm thinking in Polygon we are going to set an all-time high and take the highest high all the way up here around $3, but maybe we're going to go even like quite a bit higher than that. That's why I believe right around the lows, Polygon is a big buy opportunity because the risk to reward ratios in here are absolutely insane. Let's say you want to buy Polygon right around the 20 cents area. Question, where is your stop loss? Let's say, well, okay, you want to be like really pessimistic and conservative, and you want to put it under the lowest low in here about like 0.7 of a cent. In that case, you are having like a 19 cents stop loss. Question, what is your target? Well, the bare minimum one makes sense to say is going to be around the all-time high about $3. So you basically have a 19 cents stop loss, but about, I believe, like a $2.8 target, which means your risk to reward ratio is somewhere around 1 to 13, 14, 15, which is definitely not that bad, at least from my point of view. That's why overall, no matter what is going to happen in the short term, one way or the other, I believe Polygon is a big buy. And if we go down and take the lowest low once more, that's just going to be much more attractive of a buy opportunity, at least from my point of view. Now, what is happening in the midterm in our correction structure, and we talked about this thing so many times, I believe this is an ABC in form of a zigzag. Here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down, beautiful one into A, correction for wave B, probably an ABC, and I think this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave in form of an ending diagonal, a wedge structure, which in it for our subwaves, we need to be able to find ABCs for every single wave, and here is ABC down into 1, ABC into wave 2, ABC down into wave 3 to about this point, ABC into 4, and we talked about this pattern and what is happening potentially in the short term. This is most likely from this point to about here, 5 down into A, correction for wave B, probably a running flat to about this point, and then 1, 2, 5 down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move on the downside into wave 5, maybe to about this point, indicating our final low in Polygon can actually be in. However, this from my point of view is not really that important. Why? Here's the thing about my way of analyzing the charts. You will never ever see me catching a bottom, okay? I want to see a very strong bounce back of a low and then have a pullback, and right around that area, assuming that I see the right structures, at that point I'm going to flip bullish, okay? So I do not care whether this point is our final low or not. I want to see the proper structures in this phase right in here. Now, what are the proper structures? Well, okay, if you are a regular viewer of the main channel, you probably know what I'm about to say. If you want to argue, we're gonna have our final low around here. Let's say this is like a very important support. Then, okay, off of the lowest low in the region, you need to be able to find a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. This specific example is an impulse, a normal 5 wave. Rules for it are we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, this is important, wave 3 should not be the smallest wave, and for our sub waves, you know the answer, 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. Let's actually change the colors to maybe like orange, sure, and another 5 wave into wave 5, wave 3, excuse me, and this is another 5 wave into 5, and for wave 2 and 4, we can have different counts. Let's say like ABC into 4 and a WXY into wave 2. Now let's go on the live chart and see, can we identify something like this or not? And I think we need to go on this specific chart from Coinbase. There we go. Let's go on H4 time frame and see what is happening starting from the lowest low. So I don't really have any doubt in my mind that this is a complete 5-wave to about this point. When we were having this thing, we checked all the literal sub waves out, followed by that this is a correction in form of an ABC. Let's actually go on like 30-minute time frame, because I believe you can identify the waves a little bit better. Okay, let's zoom in more. There we go. As you can see, this is 5 up to about this point into a wave 1, correction for wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into wave 3, correction for 4, another impulse up into wave 5, followed by that ABC down, and this can be yet another great 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulsive structure, correction down in form of, you know the deal, an ABC, and then we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up, and this is quite a big move. So what is it that I'm trying to say? There is a scenario which ended in Polygon. We can argue this is 1, this is 2, big move up into wave 3, and well, the current move is just going to be a correction structure into 4, and what's going to happen next? Most likely another move on the upside into wave 5. For a couple of reasons. For now, I have this thing as my primary case. What are those reasons? Well, okay, let's zoom in more. Question: what is a characteristic of a corrective movement? A very important one. You know it, having constantly overlapping of the waves between our pullbacks, and as you can see, these are 100% overlapping of the waves constantly. So this, from my point of view, is definitely an optimistic sign, suggesting this move doesn't really have a lot of power, and after it's over, we can count on another move on the upside. Another very important optimistic sign that we are having in this area is the lack of having an impulsive structure, because if you want to say right around here we're going to have our final top, well, okay, off of the highest side you need to be able to find a clear cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm not really sure how, but maybe somehow it is kind of possible to find a 5-wave. But again, I'm gonna say it, the shape of it is going to look so odd to a degree that is going to make me say overall that's not really going to be my primary case. So for these reasons, I am optimistic in Polygon. That's why right around here I did actually open a long position, a very small one, just to have my eyes on the price action and see what is happening. Now I want to show you what is going on in terms of indicators. Let's go on weekly time frame, zoom in more. Okay, so what is happening? As you can see in MACD, this is a sell signal, which is maybe not that much of an optimistic sign, but it seems like that we do want to get a buy signal, and also this kind of makes sense when you see that in a stock RSI we are already having one. So I'm gonna say it, if you want to be bullish with a lot of confidence, you need to wait just a little bit more and see a buy signal in these two indicators at the same time. And what is happening in daily time frame? Okay, so this is a sell signal already in a stock RSI, not that much of an optimistic sign, and in MACD we are still kind of having a buy signal. Now what I'm about to tell you is just based on experience, and I haven't really gathered any actual evidence for it, but I've seen these things play out in the market way too many times. You see, whenever you're having a rather strong move up and followed by that a correction down, usually you are going to get another move up in order to take this high, but this is not going to be that much of a strong move, and then you're going to see a move on the downside. Now whenever you see in this phase kind of a drawn out correction structure that is going to take some considerable time, okay, at that point I'm willing to say that in MACD you are going to see something like this. When we are having this move, you're going to see a buy signal and EMAs continue to go up, and then in this drawn out correction structure you're going to see a consolidation in MACD and then another move up. But here's a very important point: in this phase in MACD we are not going to take the previous major high, and that will translate to a beautiful bearish divergence between MACD and the live chart, and it will cause a relatively deep move on the downside. Now why is this so important? Because let's just zoom out a bit more. Let's actually go on maybe like H1 time frame. There we go. What do we have in here? A very strong move up, and what happened in MACD if I just go maybe like on H4 time frame, as you can see, this is a rather strong move up also in MACD. What is happening right now? We are having a rather drawn out correction structure and MACD is consolidating. Now, I am willing to bet that we are going to get another move, but maybe this isn't really going to be that much of a strong move, and maybe we're just going to hit the lower band of this important region around like the 29 cents area, and then we're going to get a move down. And this is the key. In this phase in MACD, you are not going to see EMAs taking the previous high. And well, at that point, this is going to be a bearish divergence and it will cause a rather strong move on the downside, something like this. So that's why I believe in Polygon, we are probably going to get in the short term at least another move up. And as long as I'm not proven otherwise, I am going to stick with this possibility. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Polygon's price charts. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.